Check, check. Ooh, it was already on. Cool. All right, welcome everybody on this beautiful Evanston spring afternoon. Welcome to the Music Institute of Chicago. My name is Nick Collins. I'm very, very happy to be here with all the musicians and with you all, and with all of you at home on the live stream as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we continue, just want to take a moment to recognize just a few people who helped make today possible. We extend our sincere thank you to the administration at the Music Institute of Chicago for all of their efforts to support our programs and to make performances like this possible. We are also grateful to the donors and to the entire institution of the Music Institute of Chicago for always supporting music and education as well. A small round of applause for the Music Institute of Chicago. I also want to extend a thank you to our teachers and sectional coaches who have worked with the band to get us prepared for this performance. So let's thank them as well. Thank you to Kevin, Eric, Bethany's back there, and the entire Nichols Hall staff for making this possible. We had a real fun project putting this seating arrangement together, and it worked out really well thanks to them, so please, another small thank you to them. Of course, thank you to our musicians as well. We have the concert band in front of you today, so this is more of the traditional form of a band that you would imagine. We got flutes, clarinets, trombones, horns. I won't go through all of them, but they'll hold them up and show you at some point. But we've got a little bit of everything. So this is a traditional concert band. So thank them, and also we're going to thank the chamber winds as well, who you'll see after the intermission. But let's thank the musicians for their continued support and work through all of this semester. And of course, finally, thank you to you all for spending your afternoon with us. We've really put together a lovely program of music that is American or inspired American music as well. I always like to have a little bit of a theme if I can, but we're going to explore a little bit of that through this concert. So what you just heard was Overture for Winds by Charles Carter. Great, great piece. Kind of just a fun thing to get everybody riled up and ready to go. I hope your heart rate is a little bit elevated, not too much, but just a little bit, and you're ready to go. The next piece that we're going to play is On the Mall. And this is a march that is one of the most famous marches in the American band literature, and not written by John Philip Sousa, funny enough. And I was telling the concert band, I said, actually, at the time, Sousa's family thought he wrote this march. For the longest time, they said, "Oh, there's a good march out there. It's got to be John." No, actually not. This has more of a light nature to it too. On the Mall, I was saying, it's technically not the shopping mall that we're talking about. This is like a nice green park area, where the public can hang out, have a picnic. But I forget who said it, but one of the concert band members said, "But I like going to the mall, like the regular mall." I said, "Whatever mall is good for you. Just have some fun. That's all that matters, okay?" So please enjoy On the Mall. All right, all right, all right. Nice fun one. Not too heavy, not too fast, just nice on the mall. We're hanging out. That's where we like to be. Okay, the next piece, I won't talk too much about it, but it's Down a Country Lane by Aaron Copland, who is a very important American composer, really one of the first ones to bring orchestral music from America into the standard repertoire. And this piece, while it doesn't necessarily have a particular image or a particular story or theme behind it, the idea is that it's simple music with nice wide open textures and intervals, if you will. That's like the space between two notes. And that kind of, to me, this just reminds me of my wife and I. We're from Atlanta, so we drive down to Atlanta like twice a year. So we got to drive through the entirety of Indiana into Kentucky, into Tennessee. And this piece reminds me a lot of kind of the rolling hills of Kentucky, around like the Bowling Green area or so, if you've ever been there. But that's what this one reminds me of. So just listen for those. Find an image in your head that works for you for Down a Country Lane. Please enjoy. I don't know which side to go to, so I'm just gonna like do some laps. The next piece you're gonna hear, you probably know this one. It's The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. Okay, this is a ragtime piece. Joplin is often called the king of ragtime. It's one of the first major styles of American music. It's one of the first instances of popular music. It sold a ton of copies of sheet music back in the day. It wasn't streams on Spotify, it was sheet music purchases. Okay, so it's one of the first instances that we get of popular music, and we have this thing, it's kind of like music lingo, it's called syncopation in this one, and that's kind of that offbeat rhythm that's in the melody versus the very march-like kind of rigid style of the bass. So listen for those in the entertainer. Okay, so that piece was called Cajun Folk Songs by Frank Kelly. That melody that you heard all throughout kind of has this like haunting but somehow like hopeful feeling to it, and we get that from the Cajun heritage and communities from Louisiana, which has anybody been to Louisiana a couple of times? Yeah. Okay, cool. Cajun food, absolutely. Thank you very much. I got a big thing of Cajun seasoning in my spice cabinet always. But that piece is much closer to the modern American band literature, and Frank Kelly is one of those really, really great composers that does that well, and we will play another piece of his later in the concert. But next, I wanted to take a moment to talk about a Deep River Suite by Frank Erickson. This piece is based off of 3 African-American spirituals, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Deep River, and Joshua Fought the Battle of Jericho. And spirituals are among some of the most important musical traditions that we have in America. And they grew out of experiences of suffering, faith, hope, resilience, and desire for freedom through enslaved peoples in the 19th century, as well as through the civil rights era as well. So we have a lot of influence from African-American spirituals on music today, on popular music today. And if you listen and if you read along with the lyrics, I didn't put them in the program because there'd be way too many, but on your own time, if you want to look at the lyrics for these spirituals, you may find, and some academics disagree, but if you look at them, you may see that there's almost a double meaning in these lyrics. And one is going to be, they come from a religious background, religious text. So you'll see a story from the Christian Bible, but if you look very closely and you analyze, you might see a double meaning of wanting to cross over into campground. That's one from Deep River. And for some, they see it as, we're just talking about, from the Christian Bible, crossing over to campground, salvation. But if you really look, it may reflect that desire for freedom, so crossing into the northern states and getting to freedom. So I encourage you to go and look. It's really fun. It's really not fun, but it's very interesting to go and look for those through some of these lyrics. But please enjoy Deep River. There are 3 movements in this one. Try your best to remember to clap after the 3rd one. That would be great. All right? Please enjoy. So that was the other Frank Ticheli piece. He wrote the Cajun folk songs, and he wrote that one as well. Just really, really great music, really, really accessible to all as well. The next piece that we're going to hear is selections from The Music Man. Since we're a concert band, this one feels kind of appropriate. Feels about appropriate. So if you're not familiar, the whole story is about a town in Iowa. Who remembers the name of the town? Anybody? River City. There you go. River City, Iowa. Doesn't actually exist. I don't think it does. But we have I'm trying to find the nicest thing to call him. A salesman, if you will, comes to the town and gets swept up in promising the town a band with instruments, uniforms, excitement, probably a few questionable teaching credentials. He was not exactly licensed or anything to do so. His name is Harold Hill, by the way. He's a fast-talking kind of salesman, con man, who convinces the town that they desperately need this band, even though he's not exactly prepared to teach that band. Somehow, through all the chaos and the charm, the story becomes less about the scam and more about community, optimism, and the joy of making music together. And I think that that fits really, really well with our concert today. So please enjoy selections from The Music Man. Sing along quietly if you can. If you know them, you can sing along if you want. Up to you, but please enjoy. That's a fun one. That's a good one. We have one more for you all. One more for you all. But first, can we please thank the fabulous musicians that are on stage in front of you right now? They're an absolute joy to work with, and this could be you someday. If you have any interest in playing an instrument for the first time, dusting it off from however many years ago, you don't have to tell me. Just it'll be fine, right? This can be you. We welcome anybody, any age, any ability, and we'll talk about some other things. Okay, no, but anybody can come and be a part of this ensemble. So we have an intermission after this final piece, 15 minutes, and then we'll have the chamber winds, which is our woodwind dectet. They'll be playing after, so please don't go anywhere. They have some wonderful music to share with you all as well. But last but not least, let's get in the mood. Okay, hope everybody had a nice little break. The group you see before you is the MIC Chamber Winds, and that is kind of a fancy term for a small group of people that blow air into their instruments. That's all that really means. So they can go by many names. I've heard the MIC Wind Dectet, because there's 10 of them. Another way you could call them is a double wind quintet. Okay, so a quintet normally is going to have our flute, we'll have an oboe, we'll have a clarinet, a bassoon, and a horn. And we get to have 2 of each of those, so that's pretty cool. We put them together. So the piece that they're going to play, that will perform for you, is Antonin Dvorak's Czech Suite, arranged for double wind quintet. And the piece was originally written in 1879, and it shows Dvorak's strong connection to folk music and dance traditions from his homeland. And across the 5 movements, you'll hear several different characteristics: a nice gentle opening, a lively polka, a nice graceful movement, a very lyrical, romantic movement, and then finally, an energetic, what's called in the piece, furiant. Okay, that was really scary to read for the first time when we put it together. It was like, Fury what? But it's a really, really great piece of music that has so many different styles that shows off what this group really can do. And even though the piece was originally written for orchestra, this arrangement is so wonderfully done and works so, so well with this particular instrumentation and this particular group. The catch is that everybody is very, very independent of each other in their parts. So everybody has a lot riding on them when they play this. So I'm so happy that they're brave enough to do it, and this was a project piece for sure. There were lots of challenges along the way, but we've had a lot of fun putting this together. So a great thing also, how this ties into some of the theme of the concert itself is Dvorak, when he came to the United States, he was actually the director of the National Conservatory of Music in New York. And he encouraged American composers to look towards folk traditions, to look towards spirituals as a foundation for a distinct musical voice in their compositions. Please, please, please enjoy Czech Suite. 2 more.